Assalamu alaikum. Tune in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central to the Ask Sister Laila live Q&A with host Layla Nashiba, where she tackles current day issues, your questions and concerns. Call in at 862-370-2838. Once again, that's 862-370-2838. See you there.
Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulallah. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome to the Ask Sister Laila live show. The Ask Sister Laila live show, and I apologize for being just a little bit late. Yeah, we were just a little bit late, not much, but you know, I have to go through all this this setup to take your questions. And I'm putting a little thing here too so y'all can see. Inshallah, you can see at the bottom of the screen the call-in number for those, you know, some people here like to call in their questions because they want to be anonymous. So if you were one of those people like to call in your question, that's the number 862-370-2838. That's also the number you can use for WhatsApp too. So you can either dial in, you know, call in using that number, and inshallah we have inshallah we have operators standing by. I have Sister Mayleon, inshallah, standing by to take your calls. She's one of my operators, and also her sister Sahara, inshallah, should be standing by too, or Muna, you know. So just if you have a question and you want to just call it in to be anonymous or whatnot, dial the number. And even if the line is busy, we'll have your number recorded and we can call you right back, inshallah. So let's see who all is here for tonight. So far, I'm gonna check. Okay, Sister Sakina's here, mashallah, and make sure that I'm streaming. Let me do this tweet. Okay, there we are. We're streaming simultaneously on D Live. We're streaming simultaneously on Twitch, on Trovo, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and also LinkedIn. You can join us on any of those platforms: D Live, Twitch, Trovo, Facebook, YouTube, Rumbo, also Rumbo. We're also streaming live on Odyssey, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So any questions you have, you can type them on any of those platforms, and inshallah, I should be able to see you. If for some reason I can't see your question, join the Zoom room. And you guys know how to join the Zoom room. Just go to www.sunnahfollowers.net, click on join, and it'll bring you right in the room. You can use the mic. A lot of people would like to come and use the mic to ask their questions, so you can do that too. You know, and before we kick off, let me just speak about briefly. Everybody know what's going on. As I was telling you guys Monday, Allah knows best, but this could be the beginning of what could possibly lead to the end. Remember, we're talking about how the next of the greater signs of the last hour is the war against Islam. This is when those 80 countries, as the prophet said, 80 different flags, those are 80 countries. That's the United Nations, will end up declaring war against all Muslim countries. That's the war against Islam. Okay, so this could be the beginning of the end of that. Who knows? Allah knows best. But even if it is, there's nothing you can do to stop it, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam detailed it to us what would happen. And this is the time to work on your iman. This is the time to work on strengthening your faith, because only the strong will survive. For those of you Muslims who have been taking Islam for granted, this is a bad thing. You know, it's time to now start taking Islam seriously. Start practicing this deen, because only the strong will survive. And a lot of people ask me, what can we do for our brothers and sisters over there in Palestine? And I tell you guys, the power of supplication. As Dr. Ibrahim Jamali says, dua is the weapon of mass construction. Make dua, asking Allah, to make it easy for those believers over there and to give them the strength and the ability to handle and accept their qadr. And also, I want to do a little shout out. We were just speaking here in the website about one of my people here who left America and is over there living, Brother Zaman. Brother Zaman, if you're watching me, if you can hear me, Brother Zaman, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brother Zaman, I think this might be the time for you to come back to America. Bring your daughters and your wife back to America, so that way it'll be a little bit safer for them. So if Brother Zaman, who was one of the people that helped me establish this website, he helped me establish it in the late 90s and early 2000s. And Brother Zaman, he was the one who carried this website. I didn't have to pay no money, didn't have to ask for donations, because Brother Zaman paid all the expenses of this website all those years until he moved back to Palestine. Brother Zaman, come back. If you can hear me, if you see this, it's time to come back to America and bring your daughters and your grandkids or whatever you have, because it's just not safe. And I have a feeling, Brother Zaman, I got a feeling that this is the beginning. Okay? So get back here. And we keep you in our supplications, Brother Zaman. I make dua for you all the time, Brother Zaman, and your family. Get back here. Okay? All right. So, subhanallah, this is not the time for Muslims to lose balance. This is not the time for Muslims to get irrational. This is not the time for Muslims to get emotional. This is the time that we use our logic. We put wala wal bara together, allegiance together, and we maintain our dignity. We maintain our humility and our balance. Okay? This is not the time to act the way Fox News. By the way, beware. I'm a journalist. Take it from me. Beware of Fox News. Fox News is known for sensationalizing everything. They're known for lying. They're known for trying to stir up emotions and because they hate Muslims. They hate Islam. Y'all need to turn off Fox TV. Don't listen to nothing on the news here in America, because these people are trying to just geek it up. Okay? Don't fall for the crap they say. Don't fall for their crap. And also CNN. Yeah, CNN and Fox News, don't fall for none of their garbage. They are into sensationalizing. They're into the hatred against Islam. Ain't nobody got time for them and their crooked ways. This is the time to not give in to them. They want to incite emotions. They want to incite anger. They want Muslims to go and transgress the limits and blow something up. They want Muslims here in America to transgress the limits and become barbaric as they want people to think we are. Don't give them that. Again, how did the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his companions handle their wars, their trials? They handled everything with dignity, humility, and balance, and they never transgressed the limits of Allah. So do not allow the unbelievers to try to push you, Muslims in other parts of the world, to transgress the limits of Allah, to become the barbaric animals that they're lying and trying to make the public think we are. As I told you guys, dawah is not from the tongue. Dawah, true dawah is from your actions, your behavior, how we stand together in solidarity. We stand in solidarity. When you go out the house and you see another Muslim in the grocery store, I want you to yell out, Assalamu alaikum. And they say, Wa alaikum salam, solidarity. And then that's how we handle this. We show that we are in solidarity and we can support our brothers and sisters without transgressing Allah's limits. Make sure that when you leave the house, you look nice, dignified. Don't look like a terrorist, like they want you to look. The media wants you to look like and act like terrorists. They want you to become something that you're not. I'm a Muslim, proud. I'm going to handle myself out the doors with dignity. I'm going to be polite. I'm going to be well behaved, well mannered. But when I see another Muslim walking, Assalamu alaikum, my sister. We're all in solidarity. That's el-wala. Okay? Remember that. Everything that you guys are learning in my class at 6 o'clock, this is the time to put it all into action. Okay? All right. So the questions that you guys may have, put them on the screen. Y'all can start typing your questions. And also I have a Sister Omar here supposed to be coming in with questions from the Muslims in Niger. And tell the sisters in Niger to remain resolute too, to show that solidarity by us becoming more united and staying within the guidance of Islam and not transgressing Allah's limits to appease the unbelievers like they want us to do. Okay, let me see. My phone is clicking. So let me see what questions I'm getting. Hold on here. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. I got two phones here. I'm getting beeps. Yeah, y'all can type your questions while I look at this phone. I don't want to miss the people on this phone too. Whoa, I can't read this. Oh my God. Let's see what this is, guys. A voice message. Who left a voice message?
272767. I would appreciate. Thank you.
What's this? Oh, hold on. Let me hear this.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Laila. You don't know me. I'm calling from Charlotte. I've been listening to you over 2 years. And I have questions.
Okay, I remember. That's an older call. Okay, well, who's this one?
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Laila. My name is Haja Miriam.
This the same sister?
If you can please call me back. I need to have a chat with you. It's concerned one of my children. And
okay, hold on. Okay, I think she might be personal. I'll call her back a little later. Okay, any other questions? I think this sister has a personal. Wow. Who is, okay, here's some more people. Okay, here's a question here. Let me read this one. Oh my God. Oh, so this WhatsApp, you guys, look at all these questions on WhatsApp. Okay, let me look. That other sister, remind me, guys, to call her back. That other sister, remind me to call her back after class. I think she's personal. Okay, let's see. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I'm asking for my friend. She wants to know if it is okay to do. I answered that one. Hypnotic meditation. Okay, that's the old one. I did. How do you delete the old ones? Okay, I can't. For those of you who left these messages for me, call back again. Because I can't tell what's new or, oh, wait. Okay, here's a question. This one just came today. Okay, this sister, she wants to know. She said, I know pregnant people must fast. But she wants to know, what are the appropriate reasons to break your fast if pregnant? Would nausea and morning sickness be a reason to break your fast and pay the ransom? Of course, guys, when a woman is pregnant, but this is during the month of Ramadan. If a woman is pregnant and can't fast because she's pregnant and she's having sickness, then yes, she pays the ransom. And you don't have to make those days up. Okay? You pay the ransom for the days that you had to break your fast, and that ransom is it. You don't have to make the fast up. The ransom is your fast. Everybody understand that? Somebody must be pregnant and they're thinking about Ramadan. Okay, well, when Ramadan comes, if you're not able to fast because of sickness and you have to break it, you just pay the ransom for those days. Okay, and may Allah bless you on your pregnancy. Alhamdulillah. Okay, one of my students, I see who it is now. One of my students is pregnant and she wants to know she's going to be pregnant during Ramadan. Okay, don't worry about it. We'll talk about that even more. We will talk about that even more when Ramadan begins, guys. I'll go into detail about the rules of fasting and all of that. Okay, let's see. We have any questions here on YouTube?
Yeah, we do. We actually have a couple questions here.
Oh, okay.
We have the first question here from Sister Norto. She's asking, I know we went over the past month about Wala Walbara, and I know certain Christian holidays or their gatherings we don't partake in. But if my job is having a fall party or just a spring party or even a potluck, can I partake in bringing something and eating from it, or should I still maintain that distance?
Okay, now remember, that's the whole concept of wala walbara. We distance ourselves, but now you have to know when on the job. You have to work with people. We have to maintain a good working relationship with our co-workers. So if the co-workers is having a potluck, yeah, I can bring a dish in. When I used to work, we would have it, several times a year just to bring, because I work third shift. So we would have a potluck, several times a year just so we can just relax and have something for us because we work hard at night dealing with those clients. And I would always make my banana pudding. Everybody love my fat-free because I know how to make banana pudding. It's fat-free and sugar-free, and it tastes like it's not. I would always make my banana pudding and everybody would go crazy over it. So yes, we can participate in stuff like that. That's not no holiday. This is allegiance, but it's from a distance. We have to work together. We're co-workers. You have to have my back on the job. I have to have your back on the job. So if we want to do things like that on the job to strengthen our relationship so we can work better, then there's nothing wrong with that. But again, once we clock out, we go our separate ways. If it's on the job, I'll participate. But I'm not going to participate with you off the job. Do you guys understand that? So that's how that works. Yes, on the job, yes.
Jazakallah khair, Laila. I have a question that was asked outside of this chat room. Can a woman remove dark hair from between her eyebrows?
No. Because the hair between your eyebrows is part of your eyebrows. All human beings have it. I do too. We all got hair between our eyebrows. You better learn to love yourself. Okay? Learn to love yourself. Allah put that hair there for a reason. It protects your eyes. So no, you cannot remove it. Just learn to love it. Love yourself. I love my eyebrows. Hair and all. I don't care how thick they are. Now, there may be some exceptions. Let me talk about this exception because I had a couple of clients. There are some people who suffer with what the doctors have called the wolf syndrome. Deformities. That's one of the signs of the last hour too. Some people are born with characteristics of the animals. Some of my developmentally disabled clients were born with wolf syndrome. They were extremely hairy. They had long hair all over their arms, their legs, even their faces, the women too. Okay. So, I mean, I'm talking not the hairs like I have. Everybody has hairs between their brows. But these were actually unibrow. It was a unibrow of like a wolf, thick, uneven, crazy brows like a wolf. Now, if you suffer with something like that, then in that case, you can trim them and, make yourself normal. Okay? You could take that hair off and make it not be a unibrow. And if your hair, you got that wolf syndrome, the brows are hanging out long like this. I mean, they were like a wolf, like a dog's hair, then you can trim that. But that's the exception. But 9 times out of 10, you don't have the wolf syndrome. 9 times out of 10, you don't love yourself. 9 times out of 10, you trying to look like Cardi B. Tell Cardi B to take a hike. Okay? Love yourself.
Second part to that question is, well, can you, they've seen women use like highlight the eyebrow or highlight hair off from their face.
There's nothing wrong with dyeing your hair. Period. Dot. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said we can dye our hair. So if you want to dye your hair, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's hair. Some women get gray eyebrows. What do? They dye it. You want to walk around with gray eyebrows? You can dye them back to the color that they were, as long as they weren't black. Okay? So dyeing your hair is not a sin. Okay? But removing your eyebrows is a sin. You have the curse of Allah on you. Like I said, unless you have something like wolf syndrome or you got a unibrow. So if you got a unibrow that goes all the way across and you look like a freak, then that's different. Okay, do you understand, sister? Yeah.
Next question. This is from Aya. Is calling the adhan in a newborn's ear at birth sunnah or innovation?
This is a sunnah. Okay, this is a sunnah. It's not an obligation. It's a sunnah, though. Highly recommended, but it's not a innovation and it's not an obligation. It's something that the companions would do. Okay, but it's not an obligation, nor is it an innovation. Okay.
Jazakallah khair. Next question. If men work 5 times a day and can't go to the mosque for the 5 prayers to pray because he works till late, like 11 p.m., is that a valid excuse?
Yeah, if a man can't get off his job, then that's different. There's always exceptions to every rule. But what that man needs to do is, Allah may excuse you, but Allah doesn't excuse you permanently. He may just excuse you temporarily. So if the man is working late and can't get to the mosque, he needs to try to get off that schedule. He needs to try to get the seniority or whatever he needs, where he can make his schedule, where he can at least get to the mosque to pray Isha. At least get to the mosque to pray Fajr. He can go pray Fajr before he leave for work, And remember, we can't hide things from Allah. We can't trick Allah. We can deceive ourselves, but Allah knows what's in our heart. Because praying at the mosque is an obligation for men. But if you can't make it for all 5 prayers, then at least make Fajr. At least make Isha, because these are the 2 prayers that the hypocrites never make. So tell your husband that he should at least get to the mosque for Fajr and for Isha, if he can. Okay. You understand? Okay.
Next question. Can you put black kohol on your eyebrows?
The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, do not dye. You can dye your hair any color other than black. Well, how do y'all think the Prophet and the companions used to dye their hair? They didn't just use henna. This is a misconception. A lot of people think that henna was the only thing that the Arabs used. Don't you know they use other plants and stuff, kohol and stuff too? No, don't use kohol for your eyebrows if it's black. You can use brown kohol. You can use dark brown kohol, but don't use black kohol. Y'all get that? We cannot dye our hair black, any color but black. And the eyebrows is part of the hair. So stay away from black. And henna is not the only dye the companions used. They used all kind of stuff. Henna is the only one that you heard about. Okay? You can use any type of dye. Lady Clairol. Okay? But don't use black. Okay? Use dark brown. Because my eyebrows are black. Alhamdulillah, I don't have to dye them because they're not gray or nothing. But if my eyebrows ever turned gray, I would use dark brown. Because I don't want to be one of those women with gray eyebrows. I think that is so horrible looking. Thank God I don't have that. But some women I've seen got gray eyebrows. I'm like, girl, you better put you some daggone, they got eyebrow stuff now. It comes in different colors. I'm like, why don't you get you some dark brown eyebrows thing and put on? Yeah. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Just no black, dark brown, no black.
Jazakallah khair, Laila. I don't have any questions. I don't know if the other platforms, if there's any.
Okay, yeah, I'm reading something now from Twitch. I just I banned a person off of Twitch just a few minutes ago. Y'all couldn't see that person, thank God. And now I'm looking at the other people's stuff on that they type in. Okay, yes. Okay, this brother is asking about the prayer. He said when he's praying with his little sister, can she stand next to him? And that's a sweet little question. To answer your question, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he would align the people up to pray, the men would stand in the front, the young boys behind them, and then the women behind them. So you want to train the girls in your family, to pray the way the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed too. So have your sister stand behind you because you're the leader. So you stand in front and have your little sister stand behind you, okay? Subhanallah. All right, great, very good question.
We have a question. Is it time to consider boycotting products such as Starbucks, Pepsi, McDonald's, and popular makeup brands that are manufactured in Israel as a means of enjoying good and forbidding evil?
Now, this is an innovation, okay? Boycotting has nothing to do with enjoying good or forbidding evil. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived in Medina. And who were the people of Medina? Medina was ran by Jews. He lived amongst the Jews in Medina. The Jews lived with the Arabs for centuries in Medina. Whenever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam fought the Jews, he never boycotted them. In fact, when the Prophet died, he died owing a Jew money for his armor. Boycotting, this is something that Muslims today have done. And I'm going to tell you about boycotting. When you boycott, you're not hurting Israel. You're hurting you. That's why the Prophet didn't do that type of stuff. Why would you do something that's going to hurt you? If it were true, which is not true, if it were true that Israel, for example, owns Starbucks, where does Israel get the money from? The money don't come from you. It don't come from me. It comes from every country. The country leaders buy hundreds of thousands of those products. And they pay them. And then they sell them here for the people in their countries. So if you boycott Starbucks, you hurting you. Israel still will receive its money from whatever country it is. So we have to learn how it works. And this is what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said about us. He told the companions, he said, the time will come when our nation people will become deluded. He said, we don't have the intelligence that the Jews have. We don't have the intelligence that the Christians have. We're an illiterate nation, okay? And this is another one of the reasons why he said the Christians will always have an upper hand on us. He said we're emotional. When hardships happen, we get emotional and we harm ourselves rather than using our intelligence like the Christians do and like the Jews do. Okay, so this is another example of how uneducated Muslims are. When you boycott anything, you're only hurting yourself. That means you're going without cheese. You're starving your family of milk. You're starving your family of shoes and underwear. You're not hurting Israel. You're not hurting nobody but yourself and your children. We need to learn how to handle things the way the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did and his companions. Okay? They never did any of that nonsense. How did the Prophet handle war times? With dignity and balance and humility. He would call upon Allah for help. He would make dua for the believers. And he would ask the believers to make dua for themselves, because you're not hurting anyone but yourself with this type of nonsensical stuff. And by the way, I enjoy my Starbucks every day. Alhamdulillah. Everything good comes from Allah. And everything bad comes from Allah too. So why hurt yourself? Make dua for the people in Palestine. And in the meantime, work on yourself, learning your religion, not being the ignorant ones that the Prophet talked about, who are so ignorant. They don't know the religion. They don't understand anything, but they're emotional. They run off emotions. We got to change that. Okay? We have to change that. Yeah. So no, I wouldn't boycott anything. Boycotting doesn't do nothing. Make dua. Ask Allah to give the believers the strength to handle whatever their qadr is, because you can't stop the qadr anyway. This is going to happen. The Prophet said the war against Islam will happen. Ain't nothing you can do to stop it. He didn't say boycott. Boycott ain't helping nobody. Okay. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Go ahead.
That's all I have for now.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yes, brother. The brother here saying, please make dua for us. We are under attack by Israel in Gaza, Palestine. We have no water, no electricity. We need everything to support us. Yes, alhamdulillah. May Allah make it easy for you all. Okay. Yeah, we have to think about it, guys. You know, this is nothing that the Prophet didn't tell us was going to happen. You know it's going to happen. This may not be it. It may be, but it may be not. But that time is going to happen. And the prophet said, only the strong will survive. When it happens, the companions asked him, how should we behave when this war happens? If we're living at that time, what should we do? He said, fortify yourself with Islam. Fortify yourself with knowledge and understanding of this deen, because only those will be able to survive. Your faith, your belief in Allah, your practice of this religion is what will cause you to survive. We just went over that hadith the other day. So what you can do is work on developing your understanding of this religion and developing balance. Okay? Because it's going to come to you too. It's not just going to be Palestine. The prophet said that war will be all over the earth. There will be no place on this earth that will not experience it. So work on learning your religion the correct way. And make dua for everyone and for yourself. Okay?
I just add to that, Laila?
Yes, go ahead.
About the products, I just came from Palestine, and anytime we went grocery shopping, more than half of their products, are Israeli owned. So there's no boycotting over there, or we wouldn't eat. All the food has Israeli writing, Jewish writing on the products. All the food, all the products, all the bottled water, everything over there. So, we don't, if we boycotted the food and stuff over there, I mean, that's what they're buying. They're buying everything Israeli. They're buying everything from all the Jewish products. So that's not even going to put not even a little dent in hurting them at all.
Exactly. Common sense. That's what the prophet said. We have to learn, get educated. We're not an educated nation of people. We don't have common sense. The Christians know what boycotting does. They go on ahead and boycott us. You people crazy. You ain't putting a dampener in us. Your children go without food. Okay. Okay, here's another question too. The same thing with protesting. How did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions handle themselves? Were they downtown in the marketplace of Mecca protesting against the Quraysh? Is that how the Prophet and the companions handled it? Did they protest in the marketplace against the Jews when the Jews broke their treaty in Medina? Again, we got the example of how to handle yourselves in times of wars from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. We need to get back to the Sunnah, learning Islam the correct way and behave like he did, like Salama did, like those companions did. They didn't walk around protesting anything. What's protesting doing? What does protesting lead to? All protesting leads to is fighting. This is what they want you to do. They want you to protest, because a person that's protesting is a person that can't control his anger. They can't control their emotions. They're not dealing with it logically. It's all emotional. You go downtown and protest, somebody throw a bottle at you, hit you in the head. Next thing you know, shooting, fighting. What? Tell me one peaceful protest. Many wars began because of protests. Protesting is not going to change anything, because nothing's going to stop that war against Islam. Allah said it's going to happen. So it ain't going to change it anyway. So we Muslims need to be emotional. We need to work on wala wal bara. Like I said, true dawah from your behavior, your actions. Show solidarity for your brothers and sisters by giving salams to them when you see them on the street. Show support for your brothers and sisters in Palestine by making dua for them, because they can handle it. Remember, Allah says in the Quran, he does not place a burden on anyone that they cannot handle. And the stronger a person's iman, the greater their test. Those people over there, when you look on the news, you see them walking and they're not crying, they're not screaming, they looking at it like it's another day. The children even waving in the camera. You know, they can handle it. If they couldn't handle it, they wouldn't be there, and Allah wouldn't have given it to them. So you other Muslims need to handle yourselves the way the Prophet did and his companions. And I want y'all to remember, ain't no war worse than what they went through. They went through the worst genocide of all times. Nobody been through the worst genocide than the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his companions. They weren't boycotting. They weren't protesting. They weren't blowing up buildings. And because they handled it the right way, what happened? Allah sent the angels to be soldiers with them. That's what happens when we handle ourselves the right way. All right?
Next question. What are the requirements for paying zakah, and how do I pay zakah?
Okay, first of all, you have to see if you meet the criterion. The zakat is for the rich, not the poor. Zakat, what I encourage you to do is contact your local masjid. Every masjid has a committee, a zakat committee there to help you. You know, zakat is only due if you have money saved up at the end of the year, and it's minus all your living expenses. And even then it has to reach a certain amount. So contact your local masjid and tell them that you would like to make an appointment with whoever is in charge of zakat. So they will sit down with you. They will go over all your assets, your money. These are people trained to do that. And they can determine if you even owe zakat. 9 times out of 10, you probably don't even owe zakat. Okay? Yeah.
We have a question in the Zoom room. Someone wanted to know that since they are middle class and they end up getting divorced, how should they split assets? She just wants to know in case it happens.
Say what happened? Repeat it again. I'm sorry.
Someone wanted to know that since they are middle class and they end up getting divorced, how should they split assets? She just wants to know in case it happens.
Okay, first of all, in Islam, we don't have that type of stuff. So this is a question of, this is what happens. We end up emulating the kafirs. In that type of question, you go talk to a paralegal or a lawyer wherever you live at, because Americans have you divide assets. So I can't answer that because that's based on the laws in the state you live in. But if you talk about in Islam, you divide stuff up however you want to. Okay, because we don't have such thing in Islam. Okay, so you know, that's something that you and your husband can agree upon. If we get divorced, you can do. I'll let you have this, and I'll let you have that. That's something that you and him decide. But if you live asking me from a legal aspect, you got to contact a lawyer or a paralegal, because every state in America has its own laws about that stuff. But if you and your husband want to work that out, y'all can work that out. But I wouldn't be thinking about divorce. You just got married. Think about your marriage. Why are you thinking about divorce? Yeah. Most people put that in their contract. Most women put that in their marriage contract. If the marriage doesn't work out, you know, that's usually put in their contract before they get married. I know the marriage contract I had when I was last married, I put in there, whatever I have, it belongs to me. You ain't getting nothing, period. You ain't touching my money, period. Because in Islam, whatever belongs to the woman is hers anyway. So that's something that, you know, If you're talking about from a legal aspect, you have to contact a lawyer. Okay, Brother Taha, I see Brother Taha, but Brother Taha, I know you live in Israel, and we can see on the news what's happening, but there's nothing we can do for you. We're in America. Some of us are in Africa. Some of us are in Europe. All we can do is send you our dua. But as far as if you're looking for emotional anger, that's not going to happen either. Because there's nothing we can do for you except make our dua and do like I'm doing. I'm trying to remind the Muslims how the Prophet carried himself in such circumstances. That's all we can do. But to go on with it, we can't do that. And we don't send donations either. Let me talk about this donation thing. I want everyone listening to me to not fall for that donation thing either. Because a lot of people will play on this. For those of you who are on social media, those of you on Facebook, those of you on social media, a lot of people will use this opportunity to try to rip you off of money. For those of you living in America, there is only one legal organization in America that sends money to Palestine. Only one. And you ain't going to see them on Facebook begging. So y'all be careful with that crap. All right? Nothing we can do for you, Taha, except what we're doing. Making dua, showing solidarity, and reminding the Muslims to behave the way the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, behaved. And we're not sending no personal money to anybody through Zelle. We're not doing that. And this is something I want you guys to be careful of. A lot of people will take advantage of you during these times. We don't do that. We're not sending no money to you personally. You don't even live in, when you moved back, how we know you there and who? That ain't our problem. Don't fall for that, y'all. Okay. All right. Yeah, Brother Merard, help her. Brother Merard said that's his sister. What makes her think she owes zakat? Brother Merard, how old is she? She don't owe no zakat. Why does your little bitty sister think she owes zakat? Isn't she still under the care of your father? She don't owe no zakat. Zahara, you do not owe zakat.
No, she's 18. She doesn't owe zakat.
Yeah, you don't owe no zakat. Your father takes care of you. She's a kid. Papa's a rolling stone. She look like y'all too. No, she don't need no zakat. She doesn't owe zakat, Brother Merard. Okay, and I want y'all to be careful because, again, the thing that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said would bring about our destruction is our emotions. We become angry. We become pity party. And we end up transgressing the limits of Allah. This is when you're going to see the terrorists come out. This is when those ISIS groups and stuff will appear, and those Al-Qaeda groups asking for money. And aren't we supposed to go out and bomb and kill? Who said that? Did the Prophet go out and bomb and kill all the Jews when the Jews broke their contract with him? Did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam go out and bomb and kill the Quraysh? We just had the class with the kids the other day. What happened? When that tribe, the tribe of Hunayn, the Jewish tribe, killed those Quran reciters that came to them, did the Prophet say they all kafir, let's go kill? Or did he admonish Amir for doing it and make Amir pay the blood money? So this is what I'm saying. This is how we help you. We help you by keeping you balanced, reminding you of how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to handle yourselves. Okay? Reminding you how he handled himself. That's how we support you. And we also make dua for you. Okay? But we ain't here to ignite anger and go out and kill and blow up. That's what Fox TV wants y'all to do. Okay? So now, what is your question, Laila? What is this question that you typed? You said it's the Muslim obligation to defend the Muslim brothers when they prosecute by hypocrites. I want you to give me the evidence. Sister Laila, I want you to bring me an incident, because ain't nobody went through more wars than the Prophet Muhammad and his companions. Give me an incident where the Prophet said it's our obligation to go out and kill people because a Muslim's been killed. I just gave you what happened when the Hunayn people did what they did, and Amir el-As killed those two men. The Prophet made him play bud money. So again, you're gonna have to take your emotionalism, Laila. All of you are gonna have to take this anger, this emotionalism, and throw it down the toilet, because you're not helping nobody. You are making it harder for everyone. So bring the dalil that our Prophet said go out and kill, crush, destroy. Bring it, because I just brought mine. Okay? Any other questions? Go ahead.
That's all I have so far.
Yeah, we got to take all that anger and throw that crap out the door. The Prophet Muhammad taught us how to handle ourselves. He went through war his whole duration. All his prophethood was spent fighting. His whole prophethood was nothing but war, war, war. So show me. Bring the dalil that he said because somebody got killed, we all supposed to go and take revenge, kill, crush, destroy. That's terrorism. That's terrorists. That's what the terrorists do. Like I told y'all, be careful. This is where you're going to find those terrorist groups inciting you to get emotional and transgress. Sister Laila, what person living on planet Earth doesn't know that that's what they want? Do you think that there's some human being on Earth that doesn't know that the Palestinians have been fighting since before Moses for the promised land? That's even in their Christian books. What's going on over there in Israel has been going on, Sister Laila, since before Moses, alayhi salam. So what person doesn't know that except a Muslim who's not educated? Like the Prophet said, we don't have the intelligence. Look at us. Who doesn't know? Everybody know the Palestinians been fighting for land. Everybody know that the Palestinians don't understand that the land belongs to Allah. That's why it's happening. Take your emotions, Laila, and shove it. Go make dua. You're not helping nobody in Palestine. You're only supporting the Taliban. You're only supporting Al-Qaeda. You're only supporting those groups. You're not helping nobody in Palestine. All right. Okay, I think we got some more questions here.
Well, Sister Isho removed a question because it was incomplete. Oh, there it goes. A sister wants to know, I started spotting in between my period due to the birth control. It starts in the middle of the day, and then a couple of hours later, I'm all clean. No spotting till the next day. Sometimes I go a day or two with no spotting. What do I do in the case when it comes to performing my prayers?
You can't pray when you're on your period. I keep telling you women this. The period is not determined by the amount of days in which you bleed. The menses is determined by the color of the blood. If you see black, brown, red, pink, or yellow coming out of your vagina, you're on your period. And as Aisha radiallahu anha said, you don't pray until you stick a tissue up there and it comes out clean, not the spotting. You take a tissue and stick it up in there. And if it comes out clean, then you're done. You sisters cannot pray on your periods. Okay, the period is not determined by the amount of days. That's contrary to what these brothers tell you. I know that some of you belong to some different madhabs. Some of those madhabs say that, but we don't follow nobody but the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this hadith is authentic. It's in Sahih Bukhari. He said the woman's menses is determined by the color of the blood, not the number of days. And until you stick a tissue up and it comes out white, you don't pray. Okay? So tell her don't pray until it's done. Yes. Some things can cause periods. A change, stress can cause your period. A woman's cycle changes all the time. So birth control can make it happen. Also, stress can make it happen. Also, fasting. When you fast, it changes. So, like the prophet said, look at the color of the blood. If it's those colors, then you don't pray. It ain't got nothing to do with the amount of days. Okay? Yeah.
Brother Ahmad has asked, Sister Laila, can my mother use body lotion she used to keep skin healthy?
Yes, there's nothing in Islam that mentions anything about body lotion. Yes. Everything that Allah has not mentioned is lawful. Yes. Nothing's haram about lotion. Yes.
Sister, do you know majority of slave ships during slavery in the USA were owned by Jews living in the South? This place was removed from American history.
Yeah, and what are we learning about El Wala wal Bara? Okay, when it comes to distancing, El Wal Bara, when it comes to hating for the sake of Allah, and when it comes to distancing, it's not personal. The prophet said we don't go around hating a whole nation of people. That's personal. Instead, we look at people individually and we see the things about them that Allah hates about them. I want y'all to remember the prophet's wife, Sophia. I'm going to do her story for y'all when we get to her. Sophia was a Jew. She was the only woman that the Prophet Muhammad married that was not Arabic. She was Jewish. She was Hebrew. And she went through a lot of hell during his lifetime and afterwards. Aisha radiallahu anha says the wife who suffered the most is Sophia, because she said, I too treated her badly. Can you imagine her living amongst a bunch of Arabs who could not control their anger against the Jews? They used to spit on her. After the Prophet Muhammad died, they used to spit at her. They used to throw things at her. They did not show her no respect. Okay? That's not Islam. And she was Muslim. She converted to Islam. She was a Muslim, one of the mothers of the believers. And you don't even hear people talk about her. You never hear anybody mention the story of Sophia. Okay? We have to take that hatred that anger, and channel it somewhere else. That's what my whole series on al-wala wal-bara is about. When we hate for the sake of Allah. It's not personal. That means I hate the things. I hate what Israel's doing right now. I hate those Jews that are over there actively participating. But where I live at, there's a strong Jewish community here where I live. The Jews here where I live work with the Muslims all the time. They get along good. I'm not going to go and say I hate them. They're not engaged in that. And those people are nice. They even give me discounts when I go to get my meat. I love kosher meat because it's clean. When I walk in a Jewish store, oh, Laila Nashiba, what you want? You love lamb, you love goat. I give you half price. How's your knees doing? You know, I'm teaching y'all well better. Y'all got to take that anger and that emotional crap and toss it down the toilet, because you're going to end up transgressing the limits of Allah. And whenever we transgress the limits of Allah, Allah sends his punishment. You won't have no angels helping you. You on your own. Y'all understand that? So y'all got to take all this hatred and shove it. I don't care. I don't care who brought slaves over here. My grandfather brought them over. Don't y'all know who I am? I'm a descendant of Jean Guiton. Jean Guiton was my great-great-grandfather. He brought slaves to Louisiana. He owned it. So what am I going to do? Y'all going to kill me now? Hate me? Because my grandfather brought slaves over here? And he raped people in Africa? My great-great-grandfather's statue is all over Algeria. His statue is all over Africa because he raped and tried he called them barbarians and was planting his seed to make them civilized. I mean, come on, that's ignorance. And this is what the Prophet Muhammad pulled us away from when he told the Arabs, stop holding these stupid grudges. Okay, and learn to love for the sake of Allah and hate for the sake of Allah. Take that personal crap and shove it. Because all that personal crap does is cause you to transgress. Allah is about justice. Allah hates oppression. Allah loves justice. We're not going to allow what they're doing over there to cause us to become unjust here. And we end up doing what Fox News wants you to do. Go blow up somebody. Go kill an innocent civilian. So they can make war at all of us. Y'all better start thinking. Yeah, so what?
Okay, Brother Ahmad said he was just asking because she's in her mourning period. Is it okay to use the lotion during that period?
As long as it has no scent. As long as it has no scent on it. Because remember, if a woman is mourning, she can't wear no perfume at all. She can't wear no jewelry at all. She can't wear no makeup at all. She can't even wear a hijab like this. No decorations. This is when we wear dark colors. Atiyah, she said, we never wore dark colors. We, the female companions, we never wore black. We never wore dark colors unless we were mourning. And in that case, we wore no makeup. We wore no jewelry. We wore no perfume. We didn't even put on clothing with designs. We wore the most shabbiest clothing we had in our period of mourning. Okay, so, and that hadith is authentic. That hadith is Sahih al-Bukhari. So yeah, long as it doesn't have a scent to it, she can wear, for her skin, but no perfume. So get the unscented lotion. Yeah.
There's another question on that similar. If I use lotions that are scented slightly, like cocoa butter, vanilla, Are these permissible to wear inside the house? I ask this because some lotions have such a strong scent that it can smell like perfume, if that makes sense.
You can wear perfume in the house. I wear Chanel. In fact, I have on Chanel number 5 right now. Y'all know my favorite scent is Chanel number 5. I'm sorry. I'm a Chanel girl. That's why I got my Chanel hijab Kimar on. This is Chanel.
Oh, correction on the question. Outside the house.
Okay, outside.
Lotion outside.
Okay, now I'm gonna tell y'all, they put the lotion. We're not supposed to wear no perfume outside the house. But I'm gonna tell y'all about some of those lotions like Bath and Body. That's the lotion I use. Bath and Body is such a light scent that it blows off when the wind hit it. It ain't gonna be on you. Okay? But there are some lotions, like she said, that are so strong. If you're wearing the kind of lotion that has perfume in it, those last maybe, and it'll tell you, it lasts 2 hours, 3 hours. Bath and Body lotion is really shea butter and all that crap in it to make your skin nice, and it blows off, girl. That ain't nobody gonna smell that on you unless they up in your face. Okay, but there are other lotions that tell you they have perfume in it. Perfume lasts for hours and everybody can smell it. I wear Bath and Body all the time. Nobody even know I got it on. At least I ain't never had nobody tell me they smell it. Yeah.
Next question. Is it permissible to get your tubes tied?
We talked about this in our series on the lawful and the unlawful, birth control. Okay, birth control is lawful in Islam as long as it doesn't cause sterility and as long as both parties agree to it. However, some women have medical issues. For example, some women, after having a C-section, they'll tell you that you can only have 3 children. After the 3rd child, if you have another C-section, the chances of you dying go up a whole lot. So the doctors will suggest to you that you tie your tubes to prevent you from dying in your pregnancy. In that case, if the doctor recommends it for a medical reason, which is your life, then yes, you can tie your tubes. But if you're just tying your tubes because you just want to make sure you never get pregnant, no, that's haram. You can use birth control pills or IUD or whatever else they got. They got so much birth control stuff out there. None of that stuff works 100% anyway. But they got so much out there. As long as it doesn't cause sterility or as long as it's not permanent. So if your doctor suggests you tie your tubes because you can die if you get pregnant, yes, you do it. But just because you don't want no more kids, no. No. The Prophet ﷺ allowed birth control because he said if Allah decrees for a child to be, it's going to be whether you use that pill or not. And how many people have got pregnant with the pill? I got my hand up. The one kid I got, I was on the pill. I still don't know how that happened. I still can't figure out how I had that one kid I got because he was on Hajj and I was on the pill. So I don't know how I got pregnant. I really don't. Latifah, you remember? I called Latifah. I said, Latifah, I'm pregnant. How did that happen? He's not here. He's on Hajj and I'm on the pill. She said, Allah said be and it became. Yeah. So long as it doesn't cause sterility, yes. Yeah, brother HK, I know I'm the wrong people to come to preach hatred. I'm not here as a daya. It's my job as a daya to remind you guys what Allah says. It's my job as a daya to remind you what the Prophet said. It's my job as a daya to tell you, give you examples from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions as how to handle yourself. But as far as trying to get me to promote hatred so y'all can go out and make up an excuse to blow up and kill innocent Jews or innocent people, that ain't coming here with Laila Nashiba. I ain't one of them. I'm not a Kharijite. I'm just a woman of the Sunnah. That's it. We have to be balanced. We know what people did. Who ain't did bad? How many bad things have you done? How many bad people have your race did? Our allegiance is to Allah, the Prophet, and the Muslims, and we're balanced. We're about justice. Okay? And we handle ourselves the way Allah commands. I'm not here to advocate sending money to people, and I'm not here to advocate go out and kill somebody. Wrong channel. Yeah. Any other questions? Is Umar here with her questions? Forgot about Omar here.
I don't
Where's she at? Is she in there? Omar here. Where's your questions? You got them? What happened to her? There she is.
Yes, Sis Laila.
Okay.
Inshallah, I'm gonna get ready to bring my question now.
Okay.
Give me some few minutes, inshallah.
All right, that's Omar here. Her accent. I love her accent. Niger. That's the Niger, not Nigeria, Niger, the country Niger. Isn't that accent? It sounds Arabic. I like it because it's an Arabic accent. It's beautiful. Niger. Okay, I'm trying to find, oh, here I am. I lost where I was. Okay.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Sister
Walaikum
Laila.
salam.
Yeah, the first question is that okay to wear fake nail when you are in your period?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's not good to wear fake nails ever, whether you're on your period or not, because remember, Allah doesn't like deception. Allah doesn't like anything that's fake. You know, Allah likes for us to be authentic. And also, what's the point in having fake nails? I mean, this is what we call overdoing it, going to the extremes in beautification. That's going to the extremes, because when you put those fake nails on, you know, they end up taking the shape of a lion's claws or cat's claws. You can have beautiful nails without them being like that. But no, Allah doesn't like fake anything. And that's the same thing with those fake eyelashes. You sisters, I don't care who told you that stuff was lawful. Allah didn't say it was. You sisters ain't got no business wearing no fake eyelashes. Wasila. Okay? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Allah curses the one who lengthens their hair artificially. Just like you can't lengthen the hair on your head artificially, what are you doing attaching something to your eyebrows? I mean, your eyelashes or your eyebrows to lengthen them artificially too. So I don't care what anybody told you. I know what Allah said. And I know what the Prophet said. And only Allah has the authority to make things haram. And Allah says it clearly, it's haram. We cannot attach, you know, anything that's going to lengthen the hair on our body. And that's what those fake eyelashes are doing. You are lengthening them. It's haram. You sisters need to stop cursing yourselves. And the same with the fake nails. Allah doesn't like deception. And y'all know, if it was lawful, I tell you, makeup is lawful. Okay? But fake nails ain't. Fake eyelashes ain't either. Fake hair ain't. Okay? All right.
Yeah. And the next question is, what can you do if you come to the masjid and the imam, people are praying the last rak'ah? What can you do?
Alhamdulillah, we talked about this in our class on the prayer. When you come into the mosque, you just, an imam is praying, you join in. And whatever you miss, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whatever you miss, you make up. So if you're in the last rakat, you do the last rakat. But when the imam says, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum, you don't give salams. Instead, you stand up and make what you miss. Allahu Akbar, do your Fatiha and whatever rakats you missed. Okay.
Yeah, she said it's Maghrib prayer, like Maghrib prayer.
Same
and
thing.
they are at the last rak'ah.
Yeah, they do.
So
okay.
you're gonna bring the 2 rak'ah.
Yeah,
or
there
you're
you
gonna
go.
have to do 3.
Mashallah. Yeah. So did she? What part of the last rakat did she come in on?
The last, she said, is the last rak'ah and is Maghrib prayer.
Okay. Was she bowing or was she standing up with the
stand up? Okay. She found them in standing.
Okay, good. Well, all she got to do is the first 2 rakats. Because if you get the Fatiha, then that's the Fatiha. If she joined during the Fatiha, she caught that rakat. Yeah.
Okay.
So tell her just when he gives assalamu alaikum, she stand up and do 2 rakats and then give salams when she does that last one. Yeah. Okay. Mashallah.
Inshallah. I'm gonna go read the other question and then come translate it. Inshallah.
Yeah, I like those type of questions about the prayer because again, we want Allah to answer our supplications. We have to have our prayers together. We have to make our prayers and stuff, guys. Yeah. Did that brother HK left? Brother HK, did you leave? I'm sorry, I just can't sit here and provoke hatred and anger. We already know how everything is run by the Jews. The prophet said it would be that way. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us the Jews have been dealing with interest since the beginning of time. That's all the Jews ever cared about is money. That's why they got the curse of Allah on them, because they killed the prophets that came to them and sold their religion for money. So we already know that the Jews are in control of everything. You guys are not telling us nothing that we don't already know. So what? That still does not justify you transgressing the limits of Allah. Okay? Just like our prophet didn't transgress the limits with them. He lived with them, dealt with them more than you have. Okay? Was married to one. Okay.
Sister Laila, I have another question. Is one lady asking about her husband give her money to do grocery every day to cook in the house. So like every day he give her money, and that money, whatever she do her grocery for that day, the rest of the money she keep it for herself. She didn't return it back to him. If she spend that money for herself, is that haram? That money for her, is that haram for her or is halal?
No, that's hers. What belongs to him belongs to her too. Yeah, that's her money is hers. His money belongs to both of them. She bought the food, and if she wanted to keep the change as a tip for herself, and he ain't complaining about it, he hasn't complained about it, has he?
No, she didn't talk about that.
Okay,
she just says sometimes if like he don't have money or he didn't give her, she even spend her own money.
Oh, she take it. Yeah, she can do that. Yeah.
Remember and now sometimes if he give her his own to do the grocery, she did the leftover, she keep it. So she's asking if she keep it, did she make sense or is halal for her to keep it?
This is what this is what Hind, and this is why I tell you guys, be careful. We have to learn our religion. Hind and Abu Sufyan, they were of the eminent companions. They converted to Islam after the conquest of Mecca. They will, inshallah, be of those 75,000 that enter paradise without being held accountable. After Hind converted to Islam, she came to the Prophet so ashamed of the things that she done, because she was the one who had Hamza killed. and she even cut him open and mutilated him. So she had converted to Islam and was so ashamed that she did this. She covered her face like this because she came to give allegiance to the prophet. And the prophet recognized who she was, you know, even though she had her face covered, probably from her eyes. And he told her, he said, "Oh, Hind, you can remove the veil from your face." He said, "There's nothing to be ashamed of." He said, "Don't you know that Islam wipes away everything that came before it?" In other words, you are forgiven for whatever evil you've done before Islam. And that's when she said, "Oh, Prophet of Allah, my husband Abu Sufyan, he's stingy." She said, "He doesn't give me enough money to buy the food or take care of the kids. So what so she said, can I take what I need? So can I take what I need from his money?" The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her, "Yes, but just take what she needs." So that hadith, which is also Sahih Bukhari, is the dalil that yes, you know, this woman is doing nothing differently than Hind because her husband doesn't give her enough to buy to pay the bills and buy clothes and food. She can take what's left over and use it as needed. So this is no sin. She's doing a good thing. There's no sin on that, and Allah knows best.
I'm looking for another question, inshallah.
Yeah, Allah always deals with people, and like I said, this stuff that's going on over there has been going on since before Moses. Ain't nobody, you know, y'all better get some control. And most of the people that have no control are people that don't even pray. You will find that the Muslims that's doing all the ranting and raving here in America are the ones that ain't even practicing. Where's your hijab? Where's your beard? You don't even go to the mosque to pray. You don't even know how to pronounce the Fatiha. Do you know how many Muslims don't know the Tashahhud? But you're ranting and raving about kill, crush, destroy the Jews. You look at the people protesting on TV. How many of those people protesting have hijabs on, guys? Y'all know I'm speaking the truth. How many of those Muslims protesting are covered the way Allah said to be dressed? How many of the men got beards? Okay, those are the ones you see with all this emotionalism. The ruwaybida. The ruwaybida. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who are the ruwaybida? They are the ones that got all this mouth. They're the ones that do all the talking. They dip their mouth, their nose in all the politics of the world. They in everybody's business. The ruwaybida, inciting people. And these people are so lowly, they don't know the basics. Ask them what the pillars of the prayer are, they can't tell you. Ask them how to pray, they don't know. Ask them the rules of menses, they don't know. But they got all this mouth, this lip, this anger, this excitement, this ruwaybida. We're in those days. Now do y'all see why I say it looks like the beginning of what could lead to the end? All these hadiths that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us up that lead up to the beginning of what leads to the end, it's all happening. Ruwaybida. Homosexuality, adultery, fornication, the Sunnah abandoned, the fatwa people. Islam, the Sunnah replaced, the Hadith replaced with fatwas online. Y'all see all this? We better work on our deen.
There's a question here that was asked. Are women allowed to get all types of facials, or are there ones we should stay away from?
There's
or okay to get a massage at a spa from woman to woman?
Okay, remember guys, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, most things in life are lawful. If we were to sit down and write how many things are haram in our everyday life, we wouldn't even have 5 pages. We wouldn't even have 3. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Allah didn't forget anything, nor did he leave anything out in this religion. And the things that he didn't mention are lawful. Allah doesn't mention anything about a facial. So that means you can do a facial. Okay, Allah didn't mention anything about a massage. So you can do a massage. But Allah does say that a woman cannot be touched by a non-mahram man. So that should tell you that when it comes to getting a massage, I'm going to get one done by a woman, not a man. And Allah does say that women are cursed from removing the hair from their eyebrows. So if I get a facial, I'll get a facial. Just tell them, make sure y'all leave my eyebrows alone. Don't touch my brows. So there's your answer. Islam is simple. Islam is easy. We just have to learn it. Learn it correctly. And those hadiths are Bukhari and Muslim. Okay? Yeah. I get a facial every month. Yeah, I get a facial. I've been getting facials for the past 20 years. That's why I look young. I get facials once a month is all you need for a facial. In fact, I recommend you women get facials, especially you women light in color. The dark women don't have to worry about it because they have melanin. They don't age. They don't get spots and they don't get wrinkles. So women that are light in color, you need to get a facial. You need to start getting them when you are 40 years old. If you wait till after you 40, then it's too late. Yeah.
Sister Laila, one lady is asking if like you used to do some sunnah prayer. So when you miss it, do you have to make it up?
Okay, do you have to make it up? No, because the sunnah prayers are simply that, voluntary prayers. Allah is not going to ask us or hold us accountable for the voluntary prayers. In fact, what he'll do is any deficiencies in our obligatory prayers, he will take from the voluntary, but he's not holding us accountable for praying or not praying the voluntary prayers. Okay, in fact, if it's your regular routine, say for example, you make the witr prayer every night. One night you happen to fall asleep and you woke up too late to make it. You can even make it up, after the Fajr, okay? But do you have to? No, Allah does not hold us accountable for praying the voluntary prayers at all. You ain't got to never pray. He's not going to hold you accountable for him at all.
Jazakallah khaira. And there's another question about prayer. When you are in your period, like the period starts, and then like after Maghrib, the period starts. So before Isha, when you finish your period, do you have to make up the Isha prayer?
No, that's a good question too. Allah doesn't hold us accountable for what we were not here to do. Okay, if her period started before Isha, she doesn't have to pray Isha because she couldn't pray it anyway because her period came. But if she did not make Maghrib, she'd have to make up Maghrib. But if she prayed Maghrib, she's good. She ain't got to do nothing. But say, for example, Maghrib came in and she didn't pray it. She was sitting on the internet like I'm doing teaching or something. Then she gets up to go pray and realize, it's here. Then she has to make that prayer up after her menses is over. Yeah.
Okay, Jazakallah khair.
That hadith is in Muwatta and Muslim. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the religion is easy. Allah told us how to handle ourselves in all situations, guys. Sickness, war, Good times, bad times, menses time, marriage time, divorce time. We just have to learn it correctly. Learn it from the proper sources and get all that emotionalism out of here. And I hope the other Daya, this is my words to the other Daya. I hope the other Daya out there are doing what I'm doing, you know, trying to keep the balance amongst the people. That's our job. You know, our job is to keep that balance and to remind them how the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught us to handle ourselves. And like I said, our heart is with those brothers and sisters over there. But I want y'all to understand, those are the strongest Muslims on earth right now. Allah sends the greatest calamities to those who are strongest in faith. A person came to the Prophet and Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and said, "O Prophet of Allah, who is tested the most?" He said, "The prophets are tested more than anyone else." They said, "Then who's tested the most after them?" He said, "Those strongest in faith." So what's going on in the world right now is worse there than anywhere else. So that means you got people stronger. Some of the strongest Muslims on earth are right over there in Palestine. And you don't see them on here begging for money, do y'all? The people that you see begging for money are people that said, what that brother say? "I'm not in Palestine, I'm somewhere else." Yeah, you ain't even over there. That's why I said, get up out of here with that crap. You ain't gonna rip nobody off. Those brothers and sisters are so strong in their iman. It's just another day. Like they say, another day for us to show our love for Allah, our allegiance to Him. Like they say, we'll die showing our love and allegiance for Allah. That's the strongest iman. They ain't asking you for nothing. They are trusting in Allah, depending on Him to vindicate them, to protect them. And they know the qadr of Allah. They know what's going to happen. So they're prepared to handle it with dignity and balance. Those are the true believers. So you Muslims in the other parts of the world, y'all got to take y'all's weak behinds somewhere and sit down. You weak. I'm sorry. You weak. You can't even grab control of your emotions. Them, you ain't doing no good to them people over there. They don't, and they'll tell you, we don't need you. They'll even tell you, we don't even need your dua, because our dua, Allah accepts from us. They know that. Those are the strongest in faith right now. So you weak Muslims need to go crawl under a rock and learn your religion and sit down somewhere with your ignorance, your hatred, your anger, your mispractice of this deen. And learn from the pros. Learn from them brothers and sisters over there. They're the pros. Sit back, watch, learn. SubhanAllah. Any other questions? Go ahead.
How long, when you have a potential to marry, that your dad give it a okay, do you recommend getting married? Is 5 months a good amount, or should I do it right away?
As soon as possible. We don't play with that, because if the longer you put it off, the more you're going to fall into sin. Take it from me. I know that. I'm an older woman, lived and can tell you. And when you get married, when your family has approved of you to get married, you to get married ASAP. It ain't about playing. It ain't about holding it off, because the longer you wait, you're going to end up doing things that you're going to feel bad about. You're going to do things you shouldn't have done. You're going to end up phone sexing and maybe fornicating and all that other crazy stuff. That's like the Kafirs do. You know, we get married quick. There is no engagement in Islam. There is no boyfriend and girlfriend. We believe in marriage. If your father has approved the marriage, you get married today and start celebrating your life together. You know, you don't sit there. What are you waiting for? Shaitan? He wants you to wait. Remember, Shaitan is the one that pushes us to procrastinate. He's the one that pushes us to put off doing what's right so we can fall into sin. And you brothers out there, don't leave a woman hanging. If there's a woman that you supposed to be marrying, you marry her. What do you got her hanging around for? What is it? Get married. Subhanallah. Save your soul from the hellfire. Don't go near sins. Why put yourself in a situation where you're going to commit sin? Just get married. So there is no waiting period. The prophet didn't tell us to wait. He married people like this. I'm doing the story of the prophet's marriages. He got married quick. You don't see none of these women hanging around as a girlfriend or as a paramour, or they waiting 6 months. 6 months for what? How do you know you're going to be alive in 6 months? Especially with what's going on in the world today. What guarantee do you have that you're going to be living in 6 months? A rocket could come right down here in America. Bam! Hello. Welcome to the hood. Welcome to the war. Stop putting off doing good. Allah says in the Quran, don't put off doing good deeds. So ain't no waiting period. Get married today. Yeah. That's for all you brothers and sisters out there. Get married now. Yeah. Look at the questions here. I'm trying to read it, brother. Wa alaikum salam. He's saying, so yes, he's asking me, so praying for the Muslims? Yes. Pray for your brothers and sisters. The power of supplication, man. And they'll tell you, that's all. If you from over there, what would they say? How would the Palestinians tell you to help them? You're from there?
Yeah, make dua. That's it. They actually don't ask for anything. When they ask the Hamas representative, what do you want from the people? He said, we don't want nothing. We don't want nothing from anyone. We don't want nothing from no one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So all this sensationalism that these Muslims are doing, like that brother that was here earlier, he's Palestinian, but he ain't even over there.
Yeah.
He ain't even living, he ain't in Palestine. He in Europe, living a life of Riley. And like they'll say, he ain't even here. That's a turncoat. And he begging for money for who? For himself to help pay his bills in Europe? So he don't have to go back home and face the reality? I'm telling y'all, don't fall for that stuff. Those are the strongest Muslims on earth, the strongest in faith. All they tell you is, hey, we got this. We can handle. Can you handle yourself? Yeah. And I hope the other Daya keep it real like this. But I bet you they're not. They're probably saying, oh, take money, and so they can use it to pay off the masjid, a light bill. And by the way, guys, just to let y'all know, please support this dawah effort. I meant to tell y'all, did I announce that we are $200 in the hole? For this website, please support us by clicking on that, that QR code. The best thing that you can do for the Muslims today is give them knowledge of Islam. The way this nation, this ummah is so messed up. This ummah don't know the basics about the deen. The best gift that you can give to the Muslims around the world is the gift of knowledge, true knowledge of Islam, with the understanding of the companions like I am doing. Do you guys see how I'm answering y'all's questions? Do you brothers see how I am answering your questions? I am not giving you a fatwa. I am not telling you what Imam so-and-so said. I'm not quoting no sheikh. I'm quoting you what the prophet said. And I'm giving you examples from his life. That's the understanding of the prophet and his companions. This is what the Muslims need to hear. They need to hear answers like this that's based on Quran and the Hadith, not fatwas. not anger. So if you want to help the people in Palestine, you help them by educating the Muslims around the world of the truth, because how we react will determine how bad it's going to get for them, because Israel ain't going to let up off of them. So if you blow up a building, you transgress the limits, you go around killing up all Jews, all they're going to do is come down on them over there and kill up their children. So if you want to help them, guys, support this website so I can continue to stream and get us out of the hole, because we $200 overdrawn because the programs I'm using. So please support us so that way I can continue to teach this religion every day. As long as them bombs ain't coming over here blowing up our internet, I can still come live on this internet and teach the true Islam with the understanding of those companions, and hopefully with this cut down that terrorism crap. This you see that brother left, the one that was in here begging for money for himself. You see he got up out of here. The other one that was preaching hatred against the Jews and kill them, he left too. The terrorists, that's how you deal with them. You got to hit them with the Quran and Sunnah. So please support this dawah, so I can continue to stream like this. And for the people in Zoom, I just want y'all to know we $200 overdrawn. I need some donations for real, man. Yeah, we pretty messed up. Fresno, I'm sorry. I sent $200. We were $400 overdrawn, Fresno. I sent $200 of my money that I had left. So somebody else got to send another 200. Okay, go ahead, Omar here. Yeah.
Yeah, the lady who asked about when the her menses come and then she missed prayer, like the next prayer, did she have to make it up? She's asking, so after she do her bath after her menses, so that's the time that she's going to make up that prayer that you say, like if she miss Maghrib,
right. She would do Maghrib.
Even if it's the time for Fajr or Zuhur,
right,
she have to make up that last prayer, then do the next prayer.
Yes.
That's what she's asking.
Yes. You tell her she can do it. Like say if Fajr is about to go out, she can do the Fajr first and then do that. But if she can, the prayers should be prayed within the order. If she can make that Maghrib first, then whatever prayer, because the prayer should be prayed within the order. That also is from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Bukhari. The prayer should be prayed within the order. When you're making up like that. The only excuses for missing a prayer is sleep or forgetfulness. If a person overslept, and that's what happened in this hadith, one of the companions overslept and he missed a prayer. And he asked the Prophet, which prayer should he pray first? He said, pray them in the order in which they come. So the one you missed is first, then the next one, as long as you have time for that. Okay, and that hadith is Bukhari and Muslim.
Jazakallah khairan. And the next question here, I think is the last question. The lady is asking, if you have 2 to 3 sets of gold, how do you take zakat? Do you have to take zakat for them? The gold that you're wearing, like a set of necklace and earring that you're wearing, do you have to take zakat like you have 2 or 3 sets of gold?
Okay, there's no zakat. There's no zakat. I know Imam Hanifa has a different opinion, but Imam Hanafi does not out-trump Ibn Abbas. Imam Hanafi does not out-trump Aisha, radiallahu anha. Imam Hanafi does not out-trump Ibn Umar. They were the original companions, the best of this nation. And nobody understood this religion better than they did, not even Imam Hanifa. Because he's the one of that view that there's zakat on jewelry. This is incorrect. Aisha, radiallahu anha, Ibn Abbas, and Ibn Umar said there is no zakat on any jewelry that women wear on a regular basis. For example, say this was a gold nose ring. I don't have to pay zakat on this nose ring because it's jewelry that I wear all the time. But if it's jewelry that you have that's gold that you don't wear, then you pay zakat on that. So the jewelry that you don't wear, if it equals the nisab, it has to equal whatever the nisab is. If the jewelry that you don't wear equals the nisab, then you pay zakat on that. But the jewelry that you wear, the gold you wear every day, there's no zakat on that. And we have these hadiths in Sahih Bukhari. It says Aisha radiallahu anha used to buy gold for her nieces, and she never paid zakat on them. Ibn Abbas, Ibn Umar, Ibn Abbas gave gold to his wives, and he told his wives there's no zakat on the jewelry that they're wearing. Ibn Umar bought bangles for his girls, and he told them no zakat on it. Those hadiths are all in Sahih Bukhari, and there's a couple of them in Muslim. Okay, so there's no zakat on the jewelry that you wear. Okay, but if it's the jewelry that you're not wearing, that you got it sitting over there, then if it meets the nisab, then there's zakat on it. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah, she want to understand more. She say, like you're not, how about if you're not wearing it every day, but you're wearing them occasionally? She want to do makeup for her husband. She want to look nice.
Yeah,
at home.
that no zakat
husband,
on that.
Sometimes she wear it and then take it off and keep it, and then another time she wear it.
Yeah, that kind of that's jewelry. She doesn't have to pay zakat on that. But you know how some of us have gold and we have jewelry that we never wear. We just keep it because of the money. You do have to pay zakat on that if it reaches the nisab.
Yeah, she says she didn't buy it for sale it. She buy it with the intention to wear it.
Well, if she's wearing
it, keep it for her daughter.
Yeah, if she's wearing it, on a regular basis, even if it's occasionally, that's for her. No zakat on that.
Okay, jazakallah khairan, Sister Laila.
And I gave y'all the dalil.
Laila, and do you pay it just one time or is it yearly?
Oh, the zakat is yearly. If it reaches the nisab, zakat is paid every year. If it reaches the nisab, and also if you qualify. Like I told y'all, a lot of us don't qualify for zakat. Zakat is for the rich, not the poor. So a lot of us think that like me, I make a nice money. I mean, I got a nice income. I'm considered upper middle class, but I don't owe zakat because every bit of money I make, I spend it. If it ain't on me, it's this website. I don't have nothing saved up and I got bills to pay. Okay. So not everybody qualifies for zakat. Most people don't meet the qualifications. Plus, whatever jewelry you have has to meet the nisab too. And that changes a lot too. So again, when it comes to zakat, I strongly encourage you guys to speak with the people in your community who specializes in that, because they can sit down with you and go over what you have, your gold, your jewelry, or whatever you got, to see if you even qualify for it. Because most of us don't even qualify for it. I don't. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all the questions for tonight. So alhamdulillah, I want the Muslims listening to me to just learn that everything that happens is from the qadr of Allah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us how these last days will be. He told us what would happen, and we can see what's happening. He also told us how to behave ourselves and what to do when we live to see this stuff happening. He said, if you live to see when war is declared against Islam, the only Muslims that will survive are those who maintain their iman, their faith and practice, and that balance. So y'all need to take that emotional stuff, you weaker Muslims, and toss it and learn this religion. This should be a wake-up call for you, for the Muslims in every other part of the world. This is a wake-up call for all of us that we need to start taking our religion more seriously. We need to stop debating and arguing with kafirs with the Bible like we see on YouTube. We need to stop all this bashing each other and calling each other kafirs and stuff. And instead, we need to work on La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah and what it means. We need to get our allegiance to Allah in check, our allegiance to the Prophet in check, our allegiance to each other in check. And we need to start doing a lot of self-evaluation to work on changing the condition of ourselves to that which is pleasing to Allah. Because remember, Allah says he'll never change the condition of a people until they change the condition themselves. You want to help the Muslims over there? I'm here to tell y'all they don't need your help because they strong. They got it. They got it. Okay? But you can make dua for them and help them by learning your deen correctly so you don't transgress. Because any transgressions that you or I do, it's just going to impact them more. And eventually, it's going to cause those rockets that you see in the background, those rockets to come flying to you and me like it's doing there. All right. Okay, I want to thank everybody for joining and participating. Make sure that everybody is here for the classes tomorrow. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. I'll see everybody tomorrow. And the Zoom room is open if anybody wants to come in and hang out with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.